integers. You guys have seen additive inverse in our flashbacks at least once a week here lately. And what that is when a number and its opposite are added, the sum is 0. This represents the additive inverse. Remember I said when you have this right here, the first number that you have is the arrow closest to the number line, and then the second one. So we went over to -3, and then we added 3, and it gives us 0. This allows us to rewrite problems involving subtraction as addition problems. Rewrite the problem to add the opposite then follow the rules for adding integers to solve the problems. As in the song we say, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next, then all you do is add them up as if it were a plus. Same thing here. Change that minus to a plus, change the sign of next, then all you do is add them up as if it were a plus. And then the last one, change that minus to a plus, change the sign of next, then all you do is add them up as if it were a plus. So if we look at some of them that we have here and we rewrite it, we've got -5, we keep the first one, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. And then we can get the answer there. In B, keep the 8, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Keep the 14, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Keep the 2, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Keep the -13, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Keep the -17, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Then all you do is add them up as if it were a plus. All right, let's look at these down here in this chart. Change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Then all you do is add them up as if it were a plus. Different sign, subtract. 9 minus 6 is 3. Keep the sign of the largest absolute value number, that's 9, so it stays 3. 7 plus, change the -3 to a 3. 7 plus 3 is 10. -11, change it to a plus, change the sign. Same sign, add and keep. That makes it a -16. Keep the -6, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Different sign, subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. 8 has the largest absolute value and it's positive, so it stays positive. Change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. It's a positive, so we make it a negative. Different sign, subtract. 7 minus 4 is 3. 7 has the largest absolute value and its sign's negative. Change the -9 to a 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. Keep the -5. Change the minus to a plus. Change the sign of next. Different sign, subtract. 8 minus 5 is 3. 8 has the largest absolute value, so it stays 3. Change the minus to a plus. Change the sign of next. Different sign, subtract. 9 minus 3 is 6. 9 has the largest absolute value, so we keep the negative. Change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Same sign, add and keep. So that's a -19. Change a minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Different sign, subtract. 6 minus 2 is 4. 6 has the largest absolute value, and we take the negative. Remember, our absolute value is how far a number is away from 0. 11 plus 5, same sign, add and keep. The answer is 16. -10, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Different sign, subtract. 10 minus 5 is 5. 10 has the largest absolute value, so it's negative. That sum is 19 because those two cancel each other out, so you have negative 19. 10 plus 10 is 20, plus a negative 4 does give you 16. These 16s cancel each other out, so that leaves you with 3. A negative 11 plus 2, you subtract. 11 minus 2 is 9, and you keep the negative. Taylor has $27 in his check account. He then writes a check for $35. What is the new balance of Taylor's bank account? Write and solve an equation to represent the situation. Taylor had $27. Then wrote a check for $35. When you write a check, that means that's a subtraction. You take it out. Okay. You need to know what his new balance is. And then plan and work. Okay. He started with 27. And we know we said we take away 35. All right. So if we work that, 27, change a minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Different sign, subtract. So 35 minus 27 is 8. 35 has the largest absolute value, so it's negative. So the solution is negative $8 in his account. All right, the second one. At the beginning of the day, the temperature is negative 11 degrees. As the sun comes out, it warms to a high of 13 degrees. What is the difference in temperature throughout the day? Write and solve an equation. You know that the beginning temperature is negative 11. You need to know how much the temperature changed. You plan and work started at a negative 11, and it warms to a high of 13. Okay, let's start with 13. And it warms to a high, negative 11. Okay, and I'm going to show you the temperature with that. So 13, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next, and you get 24. So the solution would be 24. But if we drew a thermometer here, and this is what I like to do, and here's the 0. Here's negative 11. And up here is 13 on the thermometer because the 13 is positive. From here to here is 11. From here to here is 13. I'm sorry, you can't see that. So I drew the temperature. Here's negative 11. Here's the 0, just like on a thermometer. And here's 13. But from 0 to negative 11 is 11. And from 0 to 13 is 13. What's the difference? So that means you would add those two together, which you did. Here's 13 and 11, and you get 24. Number 3, use hints to write the name of the student who found the missing number above in the box. We've got a negative 8 plus a negative 17. Change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. And that is keeps at same sign, add and keep, which is a negative 25. Keep the 6, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. 22 plus 6 is 28. And then we've got a negative 13 plus a negative 5. Change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. 13 plus 5 is 18, and we've got negative. Israel's missing number is 7 more than Delaney's missing number. Israel's missing number is 7 more than Delaney's missing number. So 20, okay, that's 10. Okay, I'm going to say this is Israel's because we're on the number on. 18 plus 7 would be 25. And you know, the smaller the negative number, the bigger it is. So I'm going to say this was Israel's right here. And then this is Delaney's. And Brooks' missing number is positive. And this makes this one Brooks. Which expression is equivalent to 12 minus 17? So that's going to be 12 plus a negative 17. If we change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next, that's going to be a negative 12. It's C, 12 plus a negative 17. Which expression does not have a value of 3? Negative 25 plus 28. Change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Different sign, subtract. 28 minus 25 is 3. 28 has the largest absolute value. 16, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Different sign, subtract. 16 minus 13 is 3. 16 has the largest absolute value, so it stays positive. A negative 45, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Same sign, add and keep, and that gives you 87. Negative 28, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Different sign, subtract. 31 minus 28 is 3. So the answer for that one is C.